Yo, what's up, guys? We are Chopped Anime, three of the almighty Chopped Anime, and we're back to chop up the Anime Awards, Crunchyroll's Anime Awards 2023 edition. Would it be 20? Oh, it'd be 2022, right?
It's happening in 2023. That's why they're calling it
Okay,
that.
so
Yeah.
we'll call it 2023. 2023 edition. All right. So we did this last year. You can check out that video if you want. And it was a lot of fun. So we thought we'll do it again. Voting opened up as of January 19th. So if you haven't voted, get your votes in. They close January 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. Now, we're not going to go through all these categories because we clearly didn't watch all these animes to know all these categories and all these things like that. But we're going to hit a couple of them and just have fun. Let it rock. Okay, but the first one we're going to start off with is animation.
I think it's pretty clear which one we all agree on would be the best animation, right? Out of all these, we got some big studios here. We got Wit, Trigger, Clover, Ufotable Mob. These are all the biggest anime studios you got, period. Right? These are the heavy hitters. And I think this season they put out some of their best work. I think Demon Slayer hands down takes it. You know, Ufotable's animation, especially during the final fight scenes of the entertainment district, they're unparalleled. Right? We saw Attack on Titan. I didn't think Attack on Titan had great animation, but it had nothing to do with that fight scene that Demon Slayer had.
You are correct. I'm picking Demon Slayer, and I'm not thinking twice about it. Spy Family animation isn't even anything for me. Like, it's decent, it's not bad, but it's Ranking the Kings. I don't know how that even got on here. Like,
right? Yeah.
Ranking the Kings animation is nothing to like. It's unique, I guess. Maybe I don't even know.
I think the animation's good. It's the art style that's a little that makes it so that you can't tell if the animation's good.
Right. Yeah, the art style was it looks childish kind of. So yeah. I can't give that the best animation. I think it's Demon Slayer hands down. Amoya.
You already know I'm a big Demon Slayer animation guy, so I'm definitely voting for that. You know, one caveat I will say, I've only watched half of these animation, so I can't really speak for the other ones, but yeah, Mappa, you know, they don't miss. They did a great job with Attack on Titan, but it was a whole movie, the whole season with Ufotable, you know, like they just were not missing any episode. The fire looked real, all sorts of crazy stuff, man. It was smoothness everywhere. And then Spy Family, like it was good, but like, I don't know, it wasn't nothing to rave about, you know. I think we're just talking about where the cutoff was, right? And I think the anime that, like, in my opinion, would have made this for the 2022 list would have been Chainsaw Man. Like, I think
next year that's gonna probably take it. Next year, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, not even probably. Next year they're definitely gonna take it.
I don't know, man. You know, we still got Demon Slayer on the calendar, so
that will be interesting competition.
You're right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting competition.
Oh well, got something to look for in 2024.
One honorable mention I think that should be here is One Piece, because the One Piece animation this season, this whole year was fantastic. So they were really flexing with that. So I'm kind of disappointed why that didn't actually show up. I think a lot of the One Piece fans would probably agree on that.
That is weird. Why is One Piece not on here? Actually,
yeah, we haven't seen Cyberpunk or that first anime, so maybe those two animations are just really good too.
Yeah, but One Piece has so much like weight.
Yeah,
like I would have thought that would have definitely gotten especially on like, you know, the big Red Rock episodes that everybody went crazy about, and that whole arc. Yeah, so yeah, that is good point, man. All right. Next category, best continuing series. I didn't even know that was a category, but it is. I think this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm not gonna lie. I know Mayor's gonna have a tough, very tough. Dang, this actually is a good one. Amoy, you want to start?
Yeah, you know, I know One Piece, you know, it's been one of the longest running anime, so that's always going to be up there in terms of continuing series. And, you know, I haven't watched the recent anime, or kept up with that One Piece, but it seems like they really knocked stuff out the park this past season. Attack on Titan, man, it's good, but the hiatus and all that stuff, I think that kind of ruins the continuity of things. I will say I didn't watch Made in Abyss, even though the first movie that we saw for Made in Abyss, we couldn't quite understand why it won Anime of the Year. So, it's a toss up for that. So I'll leave that. JoJo's another classic. It's been around forever. Haven't really watched it, but heard good things. And then Kaguya-sama, haven't really kept up with that anime. So unfortunately, I won't get to speak on that. And then my favorite, Demon Slayer, man. I'm telling you, the way they've been producing this anime, this series, they've been really great with the release schedule. They've been great with just like the pacing, the plot, and just continuing greatness. Like, they haven't missed so far, in my opinion, in terms of every single season that these guys have come out. So for me, Demon Slayer wins it in terms of just best overall, knocking out everything and continuing a great story.
Well, I think so. This is an interesting topic because it's best continuing series. So I think this implies that we gotta really take into account all the past, like the anime in general, not just this year. So if I had to go with that, honestly, personally, I would narrow it down to Attack on Titan or JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, if I'm taking into account the entire anime history. And I think the way it's going so far, I would have to give it to Attack on Titan, just because JoJo altogether, I think the very beginning was just a little weak. And I think the Attack on Titan story was just more put together. It's still hard. It was hard for me to decide between the two animes, but I'll have to give it to Attack on Titan.
I'll say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure only has 1 week arc, in my opinion. That's the first.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
That is very horrible. But after that, it gets fire. So, and I noticed that JoJo isn't for everyone. So the title is very fitting. But to be honest, I would have to say Demon Slayer for me, only because you know what, that first season, I didn't care for the first. I can't do Demon Slayer. I'll be wrong. I'll be lying if I said Demon Slayer. I might have to say Attack on Titan then, because although Attack on Titan and the timing and all that stuff has been choppy and annoying the way they've released everything, in totality, it is the better anime, pound for pound, like everything. I just because I was not a fan of I really did not care for the first season of Demon Slayer. I'm surprised you didn't choose One Piece, Mary, to be honest, but
yeah, definitely surprised on that too.
Yeah,
One Piece is good, but I'm more of a fan of the manga than I am the anime. So
okay, that's fair. So I have one thing though, right? Like, is it fair to be comparing animes that have been continuing for different lengths?
I think so.
You think so? Because I feel like Demon Slayer is so new in terms of how much content has been there, in terms of how it's been continuing, compared to like a JoJo, Attack on Titan, a One Piece. Like, I feel like it might not get a fair shot sometimes, especially with the title, like best continuing series. With the more content you have, I feel like
Amoya too. Like, if you really think about it, Attack on Titan doesn't have that many more episodes than Demon Slayer. It's just been taking 17 years to send out the episode. It doesn't have that many more episodes than Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer has enough episodes to judge it fairly. Honestly, really, it would have won, in my opinion.
I mean, One Piece is the only one that really blows everything out of the park.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's an odd category, I think.
That is an odd category. I wonder what they really want to base it off of, but the people choose this one. So I think, honestly, on the low, Love is War will win this, though. I think the people are going to choose Love is War. Like, people love that anime.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. So, all right. So, best fantasy. I'll go first. I saw the case study of Vanitas, Ranking of Kings, Mushoku Tensei, and Demon Slayer, and I saw the first season made it best. And think about the category here: best fantasy. I think Jobless Reincarnation easily wins this. Easily the best fantasy. That is the most. That is a great fantasy anime. I'm not even like it's that. I don't think there's even any competition with this one. So that's my choice.
I'd have to put the top two if I was looking at fantasy. I'd say Jobless Reincarnation or Ranking of Kings, but I think Jobless Reincarnation definitely beats Ranking of Kings. That fantasy, the world building, just
Yes.
everything about it was stellar.
Yeah, for me, I kind of don't really have a vote because I don't consider Demon Slayer like fantasy.
Right? Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd probably give it to one of the other ones, but don't have enough to tell you if it's great or not. So
Alrighty.
I'll just reserve my vote for that one.
So best action. And I don't think this is close. I'm gonna just say Demon Slayer. It's just the last
It's
8
Demon
episodes
Slayer.
of that whole arc was like there's no action that compares to Demon Slayer. I'll be honest. Now I will say this: just be, I'm if anyone watched this video, please enlighten us on Cyberpunk because I've never even heard it. I don't know how I never heard of this. It's in every category,
Yeah.
but I never heard of this at all. So, yeah, but that's all.
Yeah. Just I think we're all on Demon Slayer. I know
well,
Boy's gonna pick Demon
Yeah,
Slayer.
boy is gonna pick Demon Slayer.
Hey man, I'm just saying, it's been a move.
All right, let's move on. I think this is an interesting category. Best supporting character. Best supporting character. We got Anya, we got Kage, we got Tengen, we got Yor. Oh, we got 2 selections from Spy Fam. That's interesting.
Okay.
And again, we have never seen
Rebecca.
we've never seen Cyberpunk, so I can't speak on that.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would say Anya Forger. I think she holds that show together. All the characters in that show are great. I like Lloyd. I like Yor. I like Anya. I even like Lloyd's assistant, the guy with the fuzzy bush. Great characters, but I think Anya low-key has some of the funniest moments in anime like this past year. And they're so subtle and they're consistent there. Anya is great. That's my vote for best supporting character.
Yeah, this is kind of tough. I would actually, I'd go with either Anya or Kage. Because Kage, he was a great supporting character, right? He always had Boji's back.
He did. He was there for both.
Yeah, he was there for him in the few episodes of Ranking of Kings that I saw. So that's kind of tough. Anya's the type of character where she'll be great as a supporting role and she doesn't even realize it sometimes. So I think I'll also give it to Anya just because I'm more familiar with her.
I'm probably leaning towards Anya too. Because Yor was a good, supporting character. Like, I think she complements Lloyd very well and like she adds to the anime a lot. But yeah, at the end of the day, it sometimes feels like it's Anya who's the main character, just based on some of the episodes and kind of how she interacts with the rest of the show. In terms of Tengen being up there, I'd feel like if this was the time when, we had the first Demon Slayer movie, the Mugen Train movie, then I would feel comfortable putting our boy Rengoku up there. But I don't know, in this arc, like Tengen was great, but like he didn't stand out to me as a supporting character. I love my Demon Slayer, but I don't know if Tengen should have maybe made it up there. There could have been other better supporting casts.
He tried to be the main character.
Yeah.
He tried to be the main character, but he wasn't. That's the other thing. Is Anya really a supporting character? Like, who would be the main character?
Apparently, it's Lloyd. Lloyd is the main character. He has to be.
And it makes sense, though, right?
Yeah.
Right.
He brought them together.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
this is all based on his mission. So I get it. Initially, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I kind of felt like Anya was, because, like, she has the powers and whatnot. But
right.
even with her having superpowers, she's not the main character, which is kind of interesting.
Best film.
Ooh.
Okay, we saw. I saw 4 of these 6 here, and Dragon Ball Superhero was horrible. Bubble was interesting, but it did not hold my attention the whole. I thought there was going to be more to it, but there wasn't. One Piece Film Red was horrible. I'm sorry, that was bad. That was not. That was bad, bro. I think all One Piece fans would be honest and say that was not their best film. So I'm at to go with Jujutsu Kaisen 0. Complete movie. It gave you what you wanted, and it's kind of not fair because it was a part of the arc. It's a part of canon. I'm sorry, that's what I mean. Canon movies just hit different because it matters to the actual anime. So, and this is a prequel. It kind of explains stuff better. It helps you understand Jujutsu Kaisen more. So I give it to Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Ooh, I don't know. So I thought One Piece Film Red was overall a decent movie. I think it was fine. I think it had a lot of great characteristics. The music was good. The action was good. I think the plot really fell apart because the main character, to me, was just not a good character. Like the story is really where it lacked.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Jujutsu Kaisen, it's kind of a weird comparison because this is the backstory of one of the canon characters. So that's why I have the toughest time really comparing them. And I guess I can compare the music. The music was definitely better in One Piece Film Red, but the Jujutsu Kaisen music was also not bad at the same time. So I don't know. It's tricky for me. It didn't really feel like when I watched Jujutsu Kaisen, it was a movie, to be honest. So I think I'm just gonna give it to Film Red. Film Red felt like I was watching a movie.
Demon Slayer has ruined anime movies just because we have such a high bar for anime movies. Like, we expect everything to be there. And I feel like none of these movies or the ones that we watch have everything be great about it. They're all like decent or like pretty good. Nothing's like, oh man, you gotta watch this one, right? Like, I don't feel that way about any of the movies we watch. Like superhero, I wouldn't be like, hey, you gotta go watch it. Right? Like, Bubble for sure, I ain't saying that. Film Red, maybe if you're a One Piece fan, sure. And then Jujutsu Kaisen, like I would, if I had to pick, that would be the one I'd pick. But in terms of like what I think of as the best film, like none of these, I feel like capture that, as a whole.
I got you. Okay, and I'm being harsh. Dragon Ball Superhero wasn't It wasn't horrible. It was actually very entertaining. It just wasn't that good. And Film Red wasn't horrible either. And Demon Slayer is my choice. I'm not even gonna hesitate. Actually, no, it's Demon Slayer. Those last 8 episodes, man. I'm sorry. I was out of my seat every episode. Like, none of these shows did what Demon Slayer did to me. Like, and I know people, Demon Slayer has a lot of unnecessary. I don't know why. It is, I guess the more popular the show you are, the more haters you'll have. So I get that. But I'm sorry. Call me a fanboy if you want. I'm not. I'm objective about Demon Slayer. I did not care for that first season. That what we saw in this entertainment district arc was phenomenal. It was spectacular. Kudos to that show. It deserves anime of the year. I hope it wins.
Yeah. So I mean, to me, it was just between Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer for anime of the year this year, and it was tough for me to decide because I thought they were both great, but the impact that Demon Slayer had was just so much more than the impact that Attack on Titan had. Attack on Titan had like so much, like you had like all moments and so many connections back to the beginning of the story. Like, it was a fantastic season. But the Demon Slayer season, this is what it, like, overall, it got like so many people watching the show. Like, the fights were just shared so much, and the story didn't fall flat really at all. Like, it kind of had everything that a great season of anime would have. So I just have to give it to Demon Slayer.
You already know where my vote is going, man. In terms of like the whole season as a whole. Like, how can you beat Demon Slayer? Like, you know what I mean? How can you beat it? Like, in terms of animation quality, the story, the action, some of the
Pacing.
comedic relief we would get. Like, you know what I mean? You just couldn't beat it. You just couldn't. Like, Spy Family started out great. It was very fresh, very new, but it didn't hold you to the screen like Demon Slayer did.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan, it had a couple of episodes that were like, oh my God, this feels like, good old crazy Attack on Titan. But the whole season didn't feel like it.
Right.
And I really, yeah, we really got to give Cyberpunk.
Yeah, I know this thing is everywhere. So that's our review of the Crunchyroll Anime Awards for 2023. What animes do you think got snubbed? Which animes do you think didn't make that made the list that shouldn't have made the list? What are you guys' thoughts on these categories, the nominations? Who do you think will win Anime of the Year? Share your thoughts in the comment section. We love interacting with you guys. And don't forget, subscribe to our channel. We really do appreciate all the support. We are a small channel. We're just guys who like having casual conversations about anime. We are Chopped Anime.